Hello, today we're going to be looking at some problem solving. I did want to review our problem solving strategy so that when you're working inside your InVision books in the pages, you have some problem solving sections as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at the anchor chart today and what that problem solving strategies look like. So right behind me right here, we have the learning intentions for problem solving. Okay. Now the first thing you always look at is to understand the problem. Now it says, what is happening and what are we looking for? Okay, so you have to really look at what we're looking for and what is happening, because sometimes they're going to give you extra information that you may or may not need. Okay, now the next thing is to determine the structure of the problem. What is the operations? You have 4 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Which ones will you be using? Okay, and is this a 1 or a 2-step problem? So you have to figure out, am I going to add and then add again? Am I going to subtract and then add? Or is it adding and multiplying? Now in 3rd grade, they're going to give you all 4 operations, and you have to distinguish which ones you're going to be using, or which one am I going to use first. 3, you have to develop your plan, organize your ideas. You have circle the digits or the numbers that you'll be using first, or underline that question that you're gonna need so that you can, okay, first I'm gonna do step 1, then I'm gonna do step 2. Okay, how will you solve the problem? Now you can do a simple equation: 24 take away 13 equals this, but there's other ways to do that as well. A number line. You can use place value blocks. You can draw it out. If it's multiplication, you have equal groups. So you have to really think about a way how to not just work it out, but show your answer as well. You have your solve and justify. Show all your work. I know some of you can do mental math, but in math, especially in 3rd grade, you want to see all the work as much as possible, so that if there is an incorrect answer, we can kind of backtrack, where you can find where you messed up at. And how do you know if your solution is correct? Sometimes if you're adding 2 things together, you can do the opposite. You can subtract. If you're multiplying, then you can show or improve your answer in a separate way by dividing as well. It's the inverse of it. So we're going to be looking at a problem. It's right behind me right here, to kind of see. Let's follow our problem solving steps to kind of figure out our problem that we have behind me today. Now, behind me, let me move out of the way a little bit. It says there are 46 balls in the gym. So now you put that mental image of yourself. Okay, you have 46 balls. We don't know what type yet, but we have 46 all together for now. 20 were soccer balls and 15 were basketballs. It says 20 and 15. But then it says the rest of the balls are tennis balls. How many were tennis balls? So this is where we stop and say, okay, do I understand the problem? What's going on? We're in the gym and we see that we have 46 balls. Okay. Now, what are we looking for? What we're trying to find is right here. Even underline. How many were tennis balls? That's what your solution should be when you're looking at this. Now, we have to decide, is this just a 1, or am I going to need 2 steps? Okay? And if it's 2 steps, adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. Okay? So they give us 2 numbers, 20 and 15. We have 20 soccer balls, we have 15 basketballs, but altogether, with all 3 types of balls, is 46. So as you can see right here, they give us 1, 2, 3 digits, and 2 of them we're going to join. And then we have a 3rd one, and that's where you decide, okay, do I understand what is the structure of the problem? They want to know how many are tennis balls. They give you already the total. So that's what we're looking at. Okay, I cannot just figure out the answer in 1 step. I need to figure out the answer in 2 separate steps. So then that's where I look at addition, subtraction, multiplying, or divide. And that's when you pause, you really think about it. Okay, if I'm gonna subtract, what numbers am I gonna subtract? If I'm gonna divide, what numbers am I gonna divide? In this case, you already know you have 46 balls all together. Okay? You know how many soccer balls, basketballs you have, you're trying to figure out tennis. So the first two things you're gonna be doing is join. And I'm gonna circle the numbers that I'm gonna be using at the time. I'm gonna do addition. We're gonna start developing a plan, organizing my ideas. I know I'm gonna use the 20 and I'm gonna use the 15, okay? So then while I'm working on my whiteboard here, you are working on your notebooks, okay? So I have step 1. So I'm gonna put 20 and 15. I already decided that I'm gonna add both of these together, okay? But before you move on, because some people don't understand that when you're adding things, you have to remember and tell yourself, what am I adding together? 20, you're gonna put soccer. And then 15, we have basketballs. Okay? And then you're gonna have your outcome 20, you're adding the 15, you have the 35, okay? 35, soccer and basketballs. So in this case, when you go on to step 2, you're gonna automatically feel like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and put 35 here. 35 is my answer. No, we have to set it up again, okay? What two things? And it's gonna equal our total, okay? So we know we have 46 balls. So that's gonna be the first number that we're gonna put. 46 balls all together, okay? And then what we're gonna do next is that 35 that we grabbed from right here, we're gonna move it down over here. But then you're gonna say, okay, these 35 are soccer and basketballs. But am I gonna add soccer balls and basketballs with all the balls all together? So this is where we know that labeling the number that you're adding, subtracting, multiplying is important, because it gives you a better picture and say, oh, it makes me go back and say, do I understand what's going on in the problem? I go ahead and see, okay, 35 balls all together and 35 soccer balls and basketballs. I'm gonna take that away because I'm trying to find out they were blank tennis balls. I'm trying to find out my tennis balls over here, okay? Now, when I'm looking at this, we have 46 and 35. That's when you're gonna go ahead and look at, how am I gonna show my work for this? Because right now I'm just doing an equation right here. Then I'm gonna go to my journal. I'm gonna go to my other whiteboard right here. I have 46. I'm gonna line up my numbers, okay? And I can do a standard regular equation like that. 46 take away 35. So we have 6 take away 5, we have 1, 4, take away 3, we have 1. Now we have 11 tennis balls. But then I'm gonna go ahead and say, how do you know your solution's correct? I'm gonna use my place value blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are my place value blocks, okay? We have rods, and then we have the dots. For this one, it's 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you would be representing it. Now, there's multiple ways to use place value blocks. You can put the top number and just X out the bottom number. So for the ones place, I'm gonna take off 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I only have 1 left. For the tens place, I'm gonna take off 3. 1, 2, 3. So then I have 1 10 and 1 1. So that's your 11, okay? So this is a way that you can show your work or prove how you're correct, besides just putting it in your step 1, step 2 graphic organizers. Now the students are used to using graphic organizers like this, so that all we have to do now is put 11 tennis balls, okay? That's all we're gonna have to do for that equation, okay? So this is just a quick review on problem solving on how to do different things. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap up right there. Organizer, show your work. Next time that we do have a problem solving, I'm gonna go ahead and leave, a problem for you to get done on your own, to see how you can manage this If you have any questions, if you have any other concerns, always feel free to message me on Class Dojo on how to, follow your problem solving steps. I know some of y'all from the problem solving pages are working on things like this. Now, it's important for you to show as much work as you can when it comes to math. Now, when I'm going through each paper or each photo that's submitted for me, that's all the things that I'm looking for. So even though some of you may be correct on one aspect, y'all are missing some certain steps that the problem is asking for. So using that graphic organizer can help you organize a little bit more on, what steps that you do, and to even go back and backtrack to double check if you're correct or not. So have a good day. This was the mini lesson just to go over problem solving strategies. Have a good day.